Leave it to Chris Healy to take a vacation and bring his work with him. The state Republican Party chairman took a long-planned and personal vacation to Ireland, and while he was there, he did some sightseeing, which included seeing Senator Christopher Dodd's beautiful Irish vacation home.
This is the vacation home of Chris Dodd, our senior senator from Connecticut. As you notice here, nice rock-lined entrance to a single-gabled house.
He was state Republican Party chairman turned tour guide.
There are about 25 homes on this island, and it's got a view of the 12 points of Ben, which is a mountain range here, which is a little obscured by the fog, which is lifting.
All kidding aside, Chris Healy says after seeing Senator Christopher Dodd's vacation home for himself, he believes Dodd has some explaining to do. Dodd's Ireland home has come under fire by some after the Hartford Courant reported how Dodd got the home at a bargain price, buying it from a business partner of a man Dodd helped get a presidential pardon for.
There is an issue here of a gift. Senators are not allowed to take more than $100 per year. The value of this home, what he got it for from his former business partner, I think would make anyone sort of give it a second look.
But despite several controversies surrounding the senator, Dodd seems to be untouchable, at least when it comes to fundraising. Dodd far surpassed the 3 Republicans and 1 Democrat vying for his seat, a strong showing for a senator who has been representing Connecticut for more than 30 years. And here now in person, just back from Ireland, is Mr. Chris Healy, the Republican Party chairman. And also joining us this morning is the Democratic chairwoman of the state of Connecticut, Ms. Nancy DiNardo. It's so nice to see you here, Nancy.
Thank
you. It's a pleasure to have you on The Real Story. Since we heard from Mr. Healy in the story, we're going to let you go first.
Okay.
First of all, does he have a future as a tour guide?
Well, I don't know. This was his honeymoon. I have to wonder, how Susan felt about the fact that on their honeymoon they had to go and trespass on property and take pictures of the senator's house. And it is comical, and we're nice pictures, Chris, but there is nothing hidden here, Shelley. I mean, the truth is that it's always been on his report. The Ethics Committee, the Nonpartisan Ethics Committee in D.C. has looked at it. There's no questions about it. It's really that the Republican Party has fallen apart in this nation, and they're trying to make an issue of something that isn't there.
Mr. Healy, would you like to respond to that?
Well, I think the issues still remain unresolved on both his sweetheart mortgage deals with Countrywide, the cottage. The cottage was paid for initially by the senator and a business partner of a fellow that Chris Dodd managed to get a presidential pardon from Bill Clinton at the last possible moment without any review by the Justice Department. And because of this sort of financial arrangement to buy this cottage, that's a question of a gift, because he bought out the original co-purchaser for, I think, a price that was fairly sweet. And he did underreport the value of it over the course of the last several years, and we have to ask why. Why was he trying to hide it? As you can see, is it a palatial mansion? No, but it's a very comfortable place. His third home on a senator's salary. And I think the other big issue here is how out of touch Senator Dodd is in general, and has been over the last few years. And now we see with his leadership on health care, or lack thereof, on the financial services agencies and the failure of Wall Street, that people are getting to see that Chris Dodd's really not doing the job that we elected him to do. And I did want to see the place because I heard great things about it. I didn't trespass. I didn't go on the property line. It was a public road. I do respect public rights, and I was more interested in just to make sure that it was the real deal. And it's got a great view, panoramic postcard view, and more power to him. But it's a good place to retire, I think, is the best thing I can say.
Yeah, except that if you look at the appraisal of the property, it's not winterized, and right in the appraisal it talked about shoddy workmanship and that it's cold and it's drafty and you can't live there in the winter. And he did get it reappraised afterwards, but they don't do appraisals every year in Ireland like we do in the United States. So again, there was no shady deal there. And as far as that pardon, that was a bipartisan letters that were gone out for this person. It wasn't just Chris Dodd. And again, that's just the Republican spin.
With all due respect to my friend,
we're talking about Edward Down Jr. here.
Yeah, with all due respect to my good friend, Nancy DiNardo, Ed Down committed securities fraud. He's defrauded people of millions of dollars. He got Chris Dodd to go to Bill Clinton in the last days of the Clinton administration. We all focused on Mark Rich, the infamous pardon king. But Ed Dowd got the same deal. And there was no review by the Justice Department. That much is fact. Eric Holder didn't review it, our new Attorney General. And Chris Dodd says that, you know, he wants to forgive and give a person a break, and he delivered for his friend. And his friend has delivered for him in the sense of putting him together with a complete stranger to buy a property. And it's a nice property. And most houses in Ireland are drafty. I wish I could have such a drafty house. I think most people that are trying to make their mortgage payments are wondering what really Chris Dodd is doing to help make that happen.
Well, I think we could talk about what Chris Dodd has been doing. I mean, the president has signed 7 bills. 4 of those were co-sponsored by Chris Dodd. He has been out there working for the people of Connecticut and the people of this country and doing a great job at it.
And a lot of people look at how someone does when they, in the fundraising, as far as a gauge is how they're doing. So Chris Dodd did very well in the second quarter. We have a graphic. Let's show how Dodd did compared to everyone else. Chris Dodd pulled in $1.2 million. Foley, this was kind of a surprise. $530,000 in just like 26 days. Simmons came in third. Then we have Sam Caligiuri pulling in $126,000, and then on the Democratic side, Merrick Alpert, $44,000. Nancy, what do you want to say about this?
Well, I think that Chris Dodd has been doing a good job for the country, and people are appreciative of that. And he's able to get money all around the country because of the job he's doing. I was just at the Yale Women's Campaign School last night with some people from California, and they were singing, and this is a nonpartisan school, and they were singing praises about him out in California, and they can't believe that he should be in any trouble in Connecticut.
Chris, it's nice to know he's doing well in California, but 70 to 80% of the money in this $1.2 million is PAC money. It's special interest money. It's people that pay to play. People from health care, people from financial services, military contractors, including the Commissioner of Baseball. He's in there. It's all special interest money. Our system is broken in Washington. It's paid for by the special interests, so it's no surprise that a guy who's been around for 30 years can collect easy money. I believe that number on Simmons is wrong. I think he had $735,000.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Collectively, all 3 Republican candidates raised more money than Chris Dodd did by about $100,000. So there's a market for a new senator, a Republican senator in Connecticut. And Chris Dodd basically had to come up with $1 million, or there would be calls for him to get out. He came up with $1 million from Ted Kennedy, other senators, and PACs. That is not representing Connecticut.
Well, I also see that Rob Simmons also had PAC money in his. In fact, I thought it was interesting that the owner of the Hartford Courant also gave money
That's what I read, Sam Zell.
Right.
And
I thought the banks owned the Hartford Courant, no? I shouldn't say that, but anyway.
I can't say anything
No.
for many different reasons. So.